Alright, what's good there, guys? Welcome back to another weekly market forecast. We're going to look at the price action on gold. So, update from last week. Things are, I guess, a lot more exciting than they were last week because our higher time frame structure has confirmed itself. So, all things are go for our higher time frame bias. That is a good thing. At least this week, we've only got one bias and we've got one trade to focus on. Nonetheless, let's get into the price action. So just an update on what we're expecting higher time frame. So on a higher time frame, let's just get our drawing tool one quick second. On a higher time frame, we've got some downside momentum obviously over there. And after that downside momentum, we can see that price action is taking quite a while to develop over here. So obviously we're in the assumption, or we're under the assumption that right now we're in some sort of a corrective structure, and hopefully price action, since we've created the impulsive move over there, hopefully we're creating some sort of a correction, and then obviously we tap over there in our area of value higher time frame before any more downside that manages to break major levels of structure. That's our overall higher time frame thesis. So we do know that higher time frame, we're expecting price action to give us some sort of a reaction to the downside, at least from this level over there. That gives us our high time frame sell. Before we get there, since we're in a corrective structure, last week we did discuss that the fact that we're in some sort of a range, this being the high of our range, this being the low of the range. Obviously right now where price action is, we're at the low of the range, also approaching last week's, or I guess the previous low that we had open over there. Let's drop down to a 4-hour, get a little bit more detail, and then see what's cooking. So fact that we do have some downside momentum on a 4-hour. Oh, let's get a drawing tool first. So the fact that we do have some downside momentum on a 4-hour obviously does warrant us to follow the price action, in a sense that if we do get a corrective structure like this, then that does give us reason to look for a short position, because we do have the momentum behind that corrective structure over there. And obviously if we do manage to break a level of structure as well, then we get this corrective structure, then it does confirm things that maybe we might be moving to the downside a little bit more. So obviously we'll realign ourselves depending on the price action. But if that doesn't happen, let's delete all of this stuff over here. Obviously if we don't get a corrective structure, we do have that context that on a smaller time frame, or at least on a 4-hour, it looks a little bit more clear, or at least somewhat clear. We do have some sort of a momentum over there, or some sort of, I guess, can call it a little bit more impulsive than the price action that we have developing right now, because obviously price action, yeah, slightly a little bit more impulsive than it is right now. So nonetheless, what we have done is obviously we've isolated the structure that we assume is developing right now, obviously taking into account all of our highs over there, all of our resistances, and obviously all of our lows over there, all of our supports. And obviously where price action is approaching, we are approaching our support trend line, and as well as this support structure over there, our horizontal support over there. So obviously all things are looking very bullish, or at least where we are, we're coming into some sort of territory where buyers will be looking and seeing some sort of value. And because of that, remember last week we did have a trade idea set for a buy, obviously in this area. That trade idea is a go. So I don't remember what the exact entries, stops, and targets are, but obviously I will update you guys on Instagram. So nonetheless, what our trading position will look like is like this. Obviously we'll be looking to enter at the high of this zone over there. Obviously there's a momentum shift on a smaller time frame. I think it was a 15-minute or 5-minute, but nonetheless we had it for a couple of days, couple of weeks, and we're still waiting for that momentum shift to get hit. And our targets, maybe we'll be a little bit more conservative just for the beginning of this structure, just so that we can see what cooks, and maybe we'll target 4,660 just to be conservative about the entire trade. It's still like a 1:10 RR, so still very nice trading opportunity. So long story short, all we're expecting is for price action to obviously come down to that support area over there, tap us in. Hopefully if there's a corrective structure, that makes things very nice for us, increases our chances of the buyer obviously stepping in once we see the money changing hands in the corrective structure. Nonetheless, we're going to be looking for bullish trading opportunities. So things are very simple for us. All we're doing this week is we're going to follow the price action. Obviously we're hoping for reversal structures that indicate that price action is going to be moving at least to the upside. if we do get a downside corrective structure or corrective structure that obviously indicates that maybe price action will be moving to the downside, obviously I will give you guys an update on Instagram. We will reevaluate the structure, make sense of the structure first before we make those trading opportunities or those trading decisions. But a decision that we're going to be making 100% for sure is setting this order the moment market opens for this long opportunity. That's my weekly market forecast. I guess I am 100% bullish this week. I will be flipping a bearish bias only if the structure warrants me to do so, but I will obviously update you guys if that happens. Nonetheless, definitely do have a wonderful, productive trading week. Hope you guys enjoyed the analysis. We're bullish. I will see you guys on Instagram if you guys are following on Instagram. Otherwise, next week, enjoy the rest of your trading week. Cheers.